The year is 1187, a pivotal moment in the annals of history. The Holy Land, a region simmering with religious fervor, is a tinderbox awaiting a spark. This land, sacred to three major religions, has been a battleground for centuries. Christian crusaders, having carved out kingdoms in the Levant, face the burgeoning might of Saladin, the formidable sultan of Egypt and Syria. These crusader states, fragile and isolated, are now under threat. A warrior of immense charisma and military prowess, Saladin had united the Muslim world under his banner. His sights were set on reclaiming Jerusalem, the sacred city held dear by Muslims, Christians and Jews alike. His vision was not just military, but also deeply spiritual. Tension crackled between the two forces, each side driven by a fervent belief in their divine mission. Border skirmishes were common, each a miniature clash of civilizations. These skirmishes, though small in scale, were brutal and relentless, setting the stage for larger confrontations. The Crusaders, heavily armored and disciplined, represented the military might of Western Europe. Their armor gleamed under the harsh sun, a testament to their readiness for battle. Saladin's armies, a diverse mix of Turkish, Arab and Kurdish warriors, were renowned for their swiftness and mastery of mounted warfare. Their cavalry, swift and deadly, was a force to be reckoned with. The fate of the Holy Land, the balance of power between Islam and Christianity, hung in the balance. Every strategic move, every battle could tip the scales in favor of one side or the other. The Crusaders, under the leadership of King Guy of Jerusalem, a man blinded by religious zeal and poor counsel, received intelligence that Saladin's forces were on the move. This intelligence, though crucial, was fraught with uncertainty and fear. A large Muslim army was besieging the strategically vital city of Tiberias, ruled by Raymond III of Tripoli, a crusader lord known for his pragmatism and caution. Raymond's counsel was often ignored, leading to disastrous decisions. It was a trap, laid by Saladin to lure the Crusaders into a decisive confrontation. The stage was set for a battle that would echo through the ages, a true clash of civilizations. Despite Raymond's pleas for caution, Guy, swayed by the fiery rhetoric of the Grand Master of the Templars, Gerard de Riedefort, opted for an all-out attack. Ignoring the warnings of his most experienced advisors, Guy committed to a risky march across the arid plains of Galilee, straight into Saladin's waiting grasp. The die was cast. The Crusader army, some 20,000 strong, set off from their camp at Sephoria. The summer sun beat down mercilessly. Water, scarce to begin with, was quickly consumed. Thirst tormented men and horses alike. The heavy armor, so effective in European battlefields, became a burden in the unforgiving heat of the Holy Land. Saladin, a master strategist, shadowed the Crusaders' advance. His light cavalry harassed the Crusader columns, picking off stragglers and denying them access to precious wells. With each passing mile, the Crusaders' situation grew more desperate. Morale plummeted under the relentless sun and the sting of arrows.
Water, for the love of God, water.
The heat was unbearable. Men choked on dust, horses stumbled, their sides heaving. The cries of the wounded and the dying echoed across the desolate plains. The once proud Crusader army was now a snaking column of misery, ripe for the taking.
Hold fast, boy. Saladin wants us to break. We will not give him the satisfaction.
But even the bravest hearts began to despair. The promised land was proving to be their graveyard. Saladin, a master of psychological warfare, sensed their desperation. He waited, letting the desert and his own cunning whittle down their resolve. On July 3rd, the Crusader army reached the desolate plateau of Hattin, a desolate landscape dominated by two extinct volcanic peaks known as the Horns of Hattin. Trapped between the scorching heat of the sun above and Saladin's encircling army, their fate was sealed. The battle began at dawn on July 4. Waves of Muslim cavalry crashed against the Crusader lines. Archers rained down arrows, their deadly aim finding gaps in the Crusaders' defenses. The parched, exhausted Crusaders fought with the courage of desperation, but the outcome was inevitable. Guy, his army disintegrating around him, took refuge atop the Horns of Hattin. From their vantage point, they could see the full scale of the disaster. The Christian army had been shattered. Thousands lay dead. Many more, including King Guy himself, were taken prisoner.
Saladin, a man known for his chivalry, showed no mercy to the defeated knights of the military orders. His reputation for fairness did not extend to those he deemed unworthy of it. The Knights Templar and Hospitaller, who had long been a thorn in the side of Islam, were executed en masse. These knights, known for their arrogance and brutality in victory, had earned a special place in Saladin's reckoning. Their arrogance and brutality in victory had earned them a special place in Saladin's reckoning. They had shown no mercy, and now none was shown to them.
Guy, trembling in fear, was brought before Saladin. The once proud king now stood humbled and terrified. The Sultan, his face a mask of disdain, offered the defeated king a goblet of iced water, a gesture of both mercy and power. Guy drank deeply, his parched throat grateful for the relief, then passed the goblet to his fellow captive, Reynald de Chatillon, a ruthless crusader baron known for his treachery. Reynald had committed many atrocities, and Saladin had not forgotten.
Did I not grant this man safe passage? And how did he repay my generosity? By attacking caravans of pilgrims? Violating the sanctity of the Hajj. Such actions could not go unpunished.
With a swift stroke of his scimitar, Saladin struck down Reynald, delivering justice as he saw it. The execution was swift and decisive. Guy, pale and trembling, could only watch in terror as Saladin solidified his triumph. The message was clear. Mercy was a privilege, not a right. The Battle of Hattin was more than a military defeat. It was a symbolic catastrophe for Christendom. The Crusader forces, once seen as invincible, were utterly decimated by Saladin's strategic brilliance and overwhelming numbers. Saladin captured something far more valuable than land or prisoners. The true cross, the most sacred relic of Christianity, believed to be the very cross upon which Jesus was crucified. This relic was not just a symbol of faith, but a powerful morale booster for the Crusaders. Its loss sent shockwaves through Europe, amplifying the magnitude of the defeat. The news of the true cross being in Muslim hands was a devastating blow to the Christian world, shaking the very foundations of their spiritual and military resolve. With the Crusader army destroyed and the true cross in his possession, Saladin's grip on the Holy Land tightened. His victory at Hattin paved the way for further conquests, as he systematically dismantled the Crusader states. One by one, Crusader cities and strongholds fell. The once formidable fortresses that dotted the landscape of the Holy Land could not withstand Saladin's relentless advance. Jerusalem, the crown jewel of the Latin East, could not withstand Saladin's advance. The city, which had been under Christian control for nearly a century, was now vulnerable and isolated. On October 2nd, 1187, after a brief siege, Jerusalem, the city of Christ's crucifixion and resurrection, returned to Muslim rule. The fall of Jerusalem marked a turning point in the Crusades, symbolizing the shifting tides of power in the region. The fall of Jerusalem to Saladin sent shockwaves throughout Christendom. The loss of such a significant city was a bitter pill to swallow for the European powers. Pope Urban III, upon hearing the news, reportedly collapsed and died. The grief and despair felt by the Pope mirrored the sentiments of many across Europe. The loss of Jerusalem sparked the Third Crusade, led by European monarchs such as Richard the Lionheart, who sought to reclaim the Holy City for Christendom. This new wave of crusaders was determined to reverse the losses and restore Christian dominance in the Holy Land.
The Battle of Hattin was a turning point in the history of the Crusades. It marked the end of Crusader dominance in the Holy Land and ushered in a period of Muslim resurgence. The Crusader states, weakened and demoralized, never fully recovered from the disaster. The battle cemented Saladin's legacy as a brilliant military strategist, a ruthless conqueror, and a surprisingly chivalrous victor. His capture of Jerusalem, achieved with comparatively little bloodshed, made him a hero throughout the Muslim world and a figure of respect, even admiration, among some Christians.
The Battle of Hattin stands as a stark reminder of the human cost of religious conflict. It's a tale of hubris and miscalculation, of courage and desperation, of victory and defeat. It is a story that continues to resonate centuries later, a cautionary tale of the enduring power of faith, the allure of conquest, and the futility of holy war.
The echoes of the clash at Hattin can still be felt today. The battleground, a silent testament to the clash of civilizations, serves as a reminder of the need for understanding and tolerance in a world still grappling with the legacy of the Crusades. For in the words of the vanquished but noble Saladin, let us be of one mind and put away these things that are between us.